Hello, Captains. Welcome to an old but hopefully fun starship review today. This is a Caitian Atrox Carrier Fleet version upgraded to Tier 5-U. That's right, we're getting the litter box out for the kiddies. Hello, Captains. So, as I mentioned in the intro, this is going to be a review of the Caitian Atrox. It is a carrier, basically. It has 2 hangar bays. Now, this is just a fun build. I'm just doing this because I wanted to have some fun in the game and do something with a ship that I used when it first came out, but I never really did a review on back then because I wasn't doing videos yet. And now that there is the Tier 5-U upgrade option, I decided to take this beast out and upgrade it to a Tier 5-U and see what it's capable of today in today's endgame content. So this is just a fun build. This is nothing too serious, but I just wanted to kind of show you the ship. Now, the Atrox Carrier first came out. It was one of the first carriers that Stowe came out with. And it was a hint that future starships we could get would be alien-based. We would be able to play alien spacecraft on a Federation character because this is from the race of the Caitians. This is their carrier, and we're using it as a Federation starship. So back then when this first came out, that was a big deal because that was our insight into the fact that any future ship we get could potentially be of an alien species, and eventually, of course, they just went wild with that, and we have all kinds of alien spacecraft in the Federation apparently now. But anyway, I digress. The original Atrox Caitian Carrier is a Tier 5 starship. It was a Tier 5 ship. Now, they do have a fleet version as well. And then now that they have the whole Tier 5-U upgrade system, it is Tier 5-U upgradable, which makes it even more powerful. It's not a Tier 6, unfortunately. They don't have a Tier 6 version of it yet, but give them time, and I'm sure they will. Anyway, this review is not 100% done, I would say, but it's at a point where I pretty much have to show it now because I just don't have the resources to get it to where I want it in a good amount of time. It would probably take me several more months to get it ready. And what I mean by that is I was hoping to have all of the gear upgraded on the ship to Mark 14 level at ultra rare quality. I wanted all my weapons at Mark 14 ultra rare. I wanted all my consoles at Mark 14 ultra rare for this ship because I'm not using the standard weaponry that I use on most of my science ships. On the Doctor, who I am here, is my science character. I went with a Tetrion build on this ship, and I'll explain all that. And in that, those weapons were not upgraded. So I have been going through the process of upgrading those weapons, but they are not all upgraded to ultra rare quality yet. I do have them all upgraded to Mark 14, but I don't have the rarity exactly where I want it, just for the most damage. So it's almost an incomplete build, but again, this is just for fun. This is to show you something different and unique, something a little old school that was released a long time ago in the game, but to show you that it can still be used today and still be successful with today's in-game content. That's pretty much the goal there. So the ship that I am using is actually, I'll just bring it up real quick here, is actually the Fleet Caitian Atrox Carrier Tier 5-U. So I am using the Fleet version of the Atrox, which makes it even better than the Z-Store version, and then on top of that I've upgraded it to Tier 5-U so we can get the most out of this Atrox Carrier. But before I go into all that, let's look at the Z-Store version, because if you just want to get the ship from the Z-Store, that is an option as well, and the Z-Store version is upgradable to Tier 5-U as well. So we'll go to ships, we'll go to Tier 5, and we'll find the Atrox Carrier. Here we go, Caitian Atrox Carrier. Here are some screenshots of it. It's a lovely looking ship. It has a very unique skin. It looks very detailed. There's the 2 hangar bays there. It has some great coloring and texturing to it, and it was one of the first ships that had that in this game, and that is spectacular. It was very unique in that way. And let me tell you, just like they do today, when this ship was initially released, everyone was flying a Caitian Atrox Carrier at the time. Okay, so I'm going to first read what the Tier 5 Z-Store version of the Caitian Atrox Carrier is here in the text. Then I will go to the store, Lieutenant Laurel, and I will go over the Fleet version of the Caitian Atrox Carrier and what makes it different from the Z-Store version. And then I'll go over the Tier 5-U upgrade and what that brought to our ship. Okay, so it says here, to deal with the increasing threat of the Klingons and the tactical advantage they have with their carrier ships, the Federation has called upon their member worlds for assistance. So, as you can see, this already throws back to the very, very early stages of this game, or years of this game, where we were still at war with the Klingons. And this is the Federation's answer to carriers, because the Federation, I guess, didn't have carriers at the time or whatever. In response, the Caitians made their fierce Atrox carrier available to Starfleet. A true carrier, the Atrox has been updated by the Caitians and the Starfleet Corps of Engineer with modifications that give it some of the abilities of a science vessel, including subsystem targeting and bonuses to shield and aux power. These capabilities allow the Atrox to support its fighters as well as other ships in the fleet. The Atrox comes standard with 2 hangar bays, each stocked with Caitian Stalker fighters. These stealth fighters can mask their energy signature and are equipped with Tetrion pulse cannons and Thoron device. Caitian Stalker fighters can be launched from any flight deck, cruiser, or carrier. So here's what the Z-Store version of the ship is like. It's a Vice Admiral ship. It has 3 fore weapons and 3 aft, so pretty balanced there. It has 1 Lieutenant Tactical, 1 Lieutenant Commander Engineering, 1 Lieutenant Commander Science, and 1 Commander Science. So that's right. This ship has a science lean to it, even though it's a carrier ship, which you would kind of consider maybe being on an engineer or a cruiser type situation. No, this ship leans more towards science. You can have a commander level science bridge officer on this thing, throw out all your tier 3 commander level science abilities with this ship, and it has boosted auxiliary power to help with that. It has only 2 tactical console slots, so this is not an escorty type ship for a tactical officer at all. 3 engineering and 4 science consoles. So as you can see, again, just built heavily towards science. 4 device slots, a crew of 3,000. That's right. Remember, the Enterprise D had a crew of 1,000, or space for 1,000, or something like that. Yeah, it had a crew. It had people on board where it was like 1,000, just over 1,000 people. This is 3,000, guys. This is a huge, gigantic ship. As such, the turn rate is slow, 5 degrees per second. Impulse modifier 0.15, a hull strength of 40,000, so it doesn't have that great of a hull strength either. Shield modifier of a 1.2, so you're going to get a little bit higher shield capacity out of it. Plus 5 power to shields, which is going to help with shield regen. Plus 10 power to aux, which is going to help with all your science abilities and the hangar bay as well. I think it helps with the recharge time on hangar bays or something like that. Subsystem targeting, 2 hangar bays, and then the Caitian Stalker fighters with it. Now remember, this was the first carrier in the game, and it was one of the first unique alien ships in the game, and so you'll notice there is no unique console. This was before the time of unique consoles that had some kind of unique special ability. Instead, the special ability of the ship is the fact it has 2 hangar bays. That is its special ability, basically. But that's the Z-Store version, so that's going to be the lesser of any of them. Now let's go look at what the Fleet version is, because the Fleet version is going to have an upgraded hull strength and an upgraded shield strength. The bridge officer layout and the console layout should be the same, but the Fleet version just gives us a little bit of an edge over the Z-Store version. So let's check that out. We will go to Starship, Browse. Let's select, I guess it'll be a Vice Admiral ship. Or, wait a minute, can't we just do Fleet? Yeah, we can just do that. And let's just go to Science Vessels. And it should be there, right? But it's not. Huh. So I've got Fleet selected and I got Science Vessels, but it doesn't show up. Maybe it shows up under Other Vessels. Yep, that's it. Okay, Fleet Caitian Atrox Carrier. So here we go. This is the Fleet version. So again, to deal with the increasing threat of the Klingons and tactical, the Federation is called upon, blah, blah, blah. A true carrier. This is basically just what the Z-Store stuff says. These abilities allow their transport fighters, 2 hangar bays, stealth, yep. The Fleet Atrox Carrier has been specifically designed to support your fleet. Fleet starships are built to the highest standard and have increased hull points or hit points, shield strength, and an additional console slot. So it does have an additional console slot. I was wrong about that. That's interesting. So that's good. So still it has +5 power to shields, +10 to aux, subsystem targeting, 2 hangar bays. So here's what we have. The base hull is 44,550. Remember, the Z-Store version was 40,000. So basically we've got just a little bit higher hull. That's still not a lot, but it's a little bit of an edge. It gives you just a little bit more out of it. The shield modifier, however, is 1.32, and remember it was 1.2 in the Z-Store version, so you're going to get a higher shield capacity out of it. And then it said it added an extra console slot. Well, that comes in the engineering section here. So it's still going to only have 2 tactical. So this ship is not going to throw out a lot of, DPS on its own. The DPS from this ship is going to come from your stalker fighters. But it does add an extra engineering slot on the fleet version, which is going to give you basically the ability to stay alive, to tank better, to be more of a kind of cruisery type of situation there. Or you can use it to help your turn rate, put an RCS on there because it's a really slow moving ship. So something like that you could do, or to increase your power level, something like that. So that's what that's going to do. But the bridge officer stations stay the same. You've got Commander Science, Lieutenant Commander Science, and Lieutenant Commander Engineering, and a Lieutenant Tactical. So the one that I'm going to be using today is this fleet version. So we are starting off just base there with the fleet version. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the ability to show you what the Tier 5-U straight up does. There's that menu when you upgrade a ship, that UI menu that shows you, like, it's taking this and upgrading it to this and showing you the benefits of Tier 5-U. I can't do that again because I've already upgraded it. But what I'll do is I'll bring up my ship build and we can see what's different about what the fleet version has here. So for one thing, when I bring up the ship build here, you'll notice that I have an increased console slot. I now have a 3rd tactical console slot. So basically, I've got 2 extra console slots compared to the Z-Store version. The Z-Store version, remember, only has 3 engineering, 4 science, 2 tactical. But because of the fleet version, I have 4 engineering, 4 science, and then because of the Tier 5-U upgrade I did, I gained another tactical slot. So in that sense, I am now doing a lot more damage because I'm able to max out 3 tactical console slots with this ship with the Tier 5-U upgrade. So the Tier 5-U upgrade instantly made this ship itself, even with the stalker fighters aside, flat out more powerful. But then, of course, the Tier 5-U version adds the Starship Mastery unlocks. 4 Starship Mastery unlocks. You're not going to get 5 because this is not a Tier 6 ship. That means there are no Starship traits associated with this ship. You just have 4 Mastery unlocks. Now, in addition to that, it also has increased my hull strength. And unfortunately, I can't tell you what those values are because, like I said, I've already upgraded it and that menu is gone. I can't look at the difference between the two because my current hull strength is being buffed by so many other things right now that it's going to be a lot higher than the spec specifies anyway. So I can't show you that, but note that the Tier 5-U does increase the hull strength. In fact, it makes it a scaling hull strength from level 50 to 60. So as you scale from level 50 to 60, your hull strength will increase all the way to its max level at 60. So you have that with the Tier 5-U upgrade as well. And I do not think the stations change. No, they don't. You still only have a commander. Oh, there's my cell phone. I'll get that in a second. You still only have a Commander Science and a Lieutenant Commander Science, a Lieutenant Commander Engineering, and a Lieutenant Tactical. I just want to double check and make sure that that's the same. I think it's the same. Yeah, Lieutenant Tactical, Lieutenant Commander, Engineering, yeah. So the bridge officers stay the same with the Tier 5U upgrade. And so, because this is one of those early ships that they released in the game, even if it is the fleet version, you're not going to have intelligence bridge officer powers, you're not going to have command bridge officer powers, you're not going to have pilot bridge officer powers, you're going to have none of that. And you have no unique console. The uniqueness about this ship is that it's a carrier, and you have 2 hangar bays with stalker fighters. That's the uniqueness about this ship. So now that we've kind of gone over what separates the fleet version and the Tier 5U versions, we will look at my build that I've chosen for this ship. Naturally, this is not the only build you could do. There are a million different ways you could go with this, a million different energy types or configurations that you could do. What I have chosen to do is go Tetrion, and that's because the Stalker fighters use Tetrion weapons. And I figure if I'm buffing my Tetrion weapons to the max ability, that maybe my Stalker fighters will be buffed as well. At least that's what I hope. So because the Stalker fighters use Tetrion, it just kind of makes sense to go with a Tetrion build on this ship. And in that sense, I am using the Nukara reputation for this ship. Nukara reputation complements Tetrion-based weaponry. All the Nukara shields and engine and deflector sets and the Nukara appropriations or whatever it is, all of the gear for that complements Tetrion builds. And also, they have released, with some of these new Iconian missions, they have released a new Tetrion set. They now have a 360-degree Tetrion beam that is actually a gear set, and you put it together, and it has abilities as well. So I have built what I can do on this ship, and built maybe, I guess, in my opinion, the ultimate Tetrion build. So I'm going to bring that up, and here we go. This is it. I am using first of all, the Nukara deflector array. And yeah, you can see these are not upgraded to Mark 14. I wish I had these upgraded to Mark 14 ultra rare, but I don't for this review. Unfortunately, I'm just not there. I want the shield to be ultra rare as well. Although the shield capacity, even at very rare, at Mark 14 is very high, 10,555. That is a very high shield capacity, and it only has a 5% absorption, 5% bleed through. This is a very good shield, guys. Do not underestimate the Nukara Crystalline Resilient Shield. I mean, honestly, it's a good shield. Okay, anyway, I'm using the Nukara Deflector, the Nukara Impulse Engine, the Nukara Shield, and I am using the Temporal Phase Overcharge Warp Core from that Krenim Temporal Manipulation set I told you about, which is the new Tetrion-based set they released. But what does this 3-piece Nukara set buy me, you ask? Well, the 2-piece bonus of this buys me weapon stabilizers, which means I've got a 2.5 all weapon damage, automatically removes weapon disabled conditions after 3 seconds, so flat out more weapon damage. It's very tiny, but hey, better than nothing. And an unstable Tetrion lattice, a Tetrion ability here that targets foe. Basically, it's a chained thing. It will chain across multiple enemies and do Tetrion damage to foes and all that stuff. So it's a good ability that comes with that set. But all of this, complements Tetrion abilities there. And this is just a really good set in itself. For a science ship, remember, I'm on a science character, I'm on a science ship, I'm on a Tetrion build. Nukara fits really well in that realm. So that's what I got going there. Now, for the other part of the Nukara set, I have the Nukara Appropriated, that's what it's called. Nukara Appropriated set. This is also a 3-piece set. Starts with this console, plus 5 shield power setting, resist shield energy drain, improves exotic damage because I'm a science ship, remember, so that helps right there, and 10% accuracy with beam weapons. Heck yeah. So that's part of the set. The other part is the web mine launchers. These I put in the rear on this ship, of course. These launch basically Tholian web mines. They call them Nukara web mines. They do physical damage to your ship. They hold it. They stun it. They're really great. I mean, when you can hit your enemies with these things, it's pretty cool. Then the other part of the set you have to have is the hyper dual refracting Tetrion beam bank. So this locks you straight into Tetrion energy weapons. To use this set, you're going to have to go Tetrions to use it to its best ability. This is basically a dual beam bank, so already it's pretty powerful in that sense. But then it does this other stuff where it has the ability to do something. Let's read about that. It's been, in addition to the standard chance to deal extra shield damage, this beam will refract off its initial target and strike a second nearby target. Note that this only occurs on this weapon's first pulse. So it's kind of a refracting, what it exactly says, a refracting Tetrion beam. It will kind of hit your original foe and then bounce off and hit a secondary foe. So, and not a huge thing. Honestly, from that, I don't really notice the difference. But it is part of it. Now, because I have the 3-piece set, I am getting this 2-piece bonus called Tetrion Amplification. That is a flat out plus 8.9% Tetrion damage increase. So flat out is increasing all my Tetrion damage. Then I've got an improved shield drain and energy drain as well if I'm using any drain abilities. Then the 3rd piece bonus is it upgrades my dual beam bank special firing mode. Fire at will and beam overload will both hit additional targets. So if I use beam overload or fire at will, the refracting part of the refracting Tetrion dual beam bank will refract to more targets, basically. So all of that goes together well. Then the 3rd gear set, yeah, I got a 3rd one on here, is the new one they released. This is the Crinum Temporal Manipulation set. So this is the omnidirectional anti-chronoton infused Tetrion beam. It's a lot of words, but basically it's a 360-degree Tetrion beam is what it is. So again, you're locked into Tetrion energy weapon damage with it. The other pieces of it are the Temporal Disentanglement Suite. This is the console part of it. So basically this increases auxiliary power settings, which is very useful when you want to do your sciencey powers and all that stuff, and I think it helps with the fighters as well. It also gives me a maximum shield capacity. It's going to increase my shield capacity even more. It's going to give me a critical chance and severity buff based on my auxiliary power level, so increasing that auxiliary power level is important, and it's always important on a science ship or science character anyway, so it all goes hand in hand, ties together, they shake hands nicely, goes together nicely. And then the 3rd part of this is the Tetrion beam bank. So you need the quantum phase torpedo, excuse me. So with the quantum phase torpedo, no, that's quantum phase catalyst. That's a whole different set. But I don't have all of that set, do I? Wait, what's the other part of this? Anti-chronoton focusing emitters? Hold on, I've lost my mind here for a second. Hold on. Okay, so this is the Temporal Disentanglement Suite. Then you need the focusing emitters. I have that. Oh yeah, that's the warp core, isn't it? Yeah, that's the warp core. Or one of those is the warp core. Energy weapon phase, overcharge warp core. No, I take that back. Focusing emitters is the bonus you get. I'm confusing myself. The 3-piece to the Crinum stuff is the console, the beam, no, take that back, the omnidirectional beam, the console, and the warp core. That's the 3 pieces to it. So I have to use this temporal phase overcharge warp core to complete the Crinum temporal manipulation set. And that gives me a 2-piece bonus that increases Tetrion damage again. Remember, I'm already getting increased Tetrion damage from the new Kara Deflector Impulse Shield. Now I'm getting more Tetrion damage from the Crinum Temporal Manipulation set. It's doing a 13.3% Tetrion damage improvement for me. And then the set 3 bonus is this anti-chronoton infused Tetrion discharge, which I have showed on another ship, and basically I have it again on this ship. It does Tetrion damage. It's a Tetrion damage beam. So all of that is Tetrion based. All of that goes together. All that works well. I guess the one thing I have that's disconnected is the quantum phase torpedo. I do not have the phase I don't have the phase catalyst weapon or the quantum phase converter. But that's okay because that's all about phaser stuff on that one. Although the accuracy would help. Quantum destabilizing beam. Oh, I was thinking of a different thing. So, I'm confused. I'm confused myself already. So what is the infused Tetrion discharge? Oh yeah, I know what that is. This is the pulse. So basically this is, I'll show it to you. Basically it kind of like pulses out this thing and does Tetrion damage to the enemy. It's not a beam, it's more like a pulse, and it affects multiple foes. I'll show that to you. That's part of that set, so totally different. So the only set I do not have completed is this one, but if I were to complete this one, that's more phaser based, because I think the weapon is phaser, so that's fine. But basically I just have the quantum phase torpedo as my torpedo. So that's just operating by itself. For the other things, I did put on a tachyonetic converter. Remember I said this ship is very slow turning. So I wanted to speed that up and at the same time just give it a little more damage if I could. So I went with a tachyonetic converter because that increases my flight turn rate and at the same time gives me critical chance and critical severity. And then I have an engineering enhanced neutronium alloy with a hit point increase, all energy damage and stuff. An EPS, my universal simulated module, and I do have the cutting beam, so I am using the 2-piece bonus that gives the Omega weapon amplifier, which is going to increase my weapon power and weapon resistance. All that. I also have a bioneural gel pack on. That's going to increase all my power levels to all my subsystems, improve my shield hit points even more, and have a cooldown reduction on my bridge officer abilities. So that's a really good science console ability to have there. And then I also have my exotic particle field exciter on. This is another kinetic and all energy damage resistance, and another improved exotic damage, and another maximum shield capacity, and a plus 10 to weapon power when shield is healed or applied field exciter for 15 seconds. So that is a really cool ability. And then of course I have my tactical consoles maxed out. Mark 14 epic Tetrion damage, critical chance to get my critical hits going. Now for the hangar bays, this comes with standard. Here's the Stalker fighters. This is what it comes with here in my inventory. I'm hovering over it. These are just standard hangar Stalker fighters. They do a Tetrion pulse cannon, a Thoron generator, and a hull signature mask. These are level 61. So that's what comes standard with it. Stalkers are equipped with Tetrion pulse cannons and a Thoron generator. The Thoron generator will generate a pulse that will drain a target's auxiliary power and has the chance to take its auxiliary systems offline and jam its sensors. Stalkers are stealth fighters and their hull masks their energy signature. Each hangar supports 2 wings of 3 fighters each. Auxiliary power will determine the recharge rate, and if auxiliary systems are knocked offline, the hangar will not operate. Targets anything alive, 15-kilometer range, 40-second recharge, launches a wing of 3 level 61 Stalker fighters. Each hangar supports 2 deployed wings at any given time. So that's the standard ones. But you can buy better ones. First of all, you can go to the dilithium store, go to Hangar Pets, and you will find advanced Stalker fighters here for 25,713 dilithium apiece. These have a Tetrion pulse cannon, Thoron generator, and anti-proton sweep and hull signature mask. So the advanced version adds a new ability called anti-proton sweep. These are still level 61 though. So let's see what anti-proton sweep does. Anti-proton sweep ability, which damages enemy shields and can disable cloaks. So that is an added ability to the advanced versions, but you can go one higher. You can go to your Fleet Starbase and get what I got is the Elite Stalker Fighters. Now these are the bee's knees right here. This is the best you can get. They are still level 61, but check out all these abilities these have now. Tetrion pulse cannons, dual Tetrion cannons, Thoron generator, anti-proton sweep, battle cloak. That's right, my Stalker Fighters have their own battle cloak. How kick butt is that? Hull signature mask. So launches 3 Caitian Stalker fighters, dual Tetrion cannons, and a Thoron generator. The Thoron generator will generate a pulse that will drain target's aux power. They're equipped with an anti-proton sweep that damages shields and disables cloaks. Each hangar supports 2 wings, blah, blah, blah. 15-kilometer range, 40-second recharge. So, yeah, much better. And, of course, these only work on a Caitian Atrox Carrier, the Fleet Caitian Atrox Carrier T5-U, or Fleet Caitian Atrox Carrier T5-U. Of course, I am using the Fleet Caitian Atrox Carrier T5-U. So this is the best carrier, the best Atrox carrier you can flat out get. So these are the 2 Stalker fighters. This will launch. Each hangar supports 2 deployed wings at any given time. So basically, we can have a ton of fighters out there. Now, fighters are not as tough as shuttles. They are a little more paper thin, so they will die faster or easier than shuttles, from another kind of hangar bay, like the Galaxy X, for example. You can do launch shuttles from that. But but you get a lot of these with these. Basically, you get a lot of fighters, so they kind of swarm your enemy. You get a lot from it. The other thing that the Tier 5U added is, of course, the Starship Mastery unlocks. The first one is a 20% recharge time reduction to launching my carrier pets, and a 50% rank up XP for all hangar pets. So this is called quick deployment, and you'll see it in my tray when I'm in space. This basically allows me, flat out passive ability, I don't have to activate it, to launch my carrier pets faster, and they rank up better, or rank up more faster, basically, than they would without this ability. So this is a carrier pet specific ability, which is awesome. The second one is a plus 10% whole hit points. It's flat out increase my whole hit points or whole strength. The third one is a shield regeneration, which is going to regenerate my shields, and it reduces damage to shields by 5%. Unfortunately, we can't. We'll see the real number. 24.4 isn't the real number. We'll see it when we're in space. Then the fourth ability is shield hit points as well. We're going to increase my shield strength on top of that. Remember, I've already got several things increasing my shield capacity here. I've already got a very high shield capacity shield in the first place. I should have a tremendous shield capacity on this ship. We'll see about that. So that is basically it as far as what the Fleet version Tier 5U gives a person. Now, as far as your stations go, I mean, that's just going to depend on you, right? My powers are wacky right now. I know that, I see that, I understand that. They're not how I would normally have it in the long run. I actually have 2 Tier 2 Tychon's Rifts. I would not do that in the real world. I do have a Tier 3 Gravity Well. Of course, I will always do that. I love that. I've got a Tachyon Beam for a drain. I got a Science Team 2. I got a Tractor Beam, a Hazard Emitter, Directed Energy Modulation, and I'm using Beam Overload. I'm probably better if I change that to Fire at Will. But there are changes I would make here, so just don't pay too much attention to my Bridge Officer build. Obviously, you guys can do better. I can do better too. It's just like this because I kind of want to get on with this review, get this ship reviewed and done with. It's been hanging around for a while, and I don't want to spend any more resources on it, really. I just want to get it done and show you guys what it's capable of. Again, this is just a fun thing. This is just something that is a ship that's been around in the game forever that no one kind of really plays anymore. You don't see them much. But I want to show people that the Fleet version upgraded to Tier 5U is capable. It is capable with current in-game content. Now, I'm sure someday in the future, if Cryptic feels like it'll make them money, they'll make a Tier 6 version of this ship, but they haven't yet. Well, the next thing we want to look at is, of course, customization. How can we customize this ship? So let's take a look at that. Here's the ship. Very large ship, very big. You only have one template, the Caitian Carrier, so there's no other templates. There's nothing to change on the style. Nothing at all. So don't You're not going to be able to change parts, move parts around, or that kind of thing. It is what it is. So if you don't like the design of it, you don't like the look of it, you are stuck with how it looks, because you cannot change a single thing on it. You can change the bridge, but it does not have a unique bridge, so there's no point in me showing you the bridge. No unique bridge. You can change, no, you can't change the windows. There's only one window type. There are two different material types, though. You have this Caitian Type 1 material, which I like the best. It's very dark and blue. Then you have this like lighter version that's not as bluey shiny, but still kind of like grayish shiny blue. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a little bit different. I mean, it's not a massive difference to the color on it. I mean, that to that. Yeah. And then, of course, if you have upgraded to Tier 5-U, you will have a unique upgrade skin. So that's a completely different skin you could put on the ship. I'm just going to use the default Caitian Type 1 skin. I think it looks the best. It's darker. It just looks really, really cool in space. Patterns, of course, you can add a pattern to it, but yeah, it's really not going to do a lot either. So that's all. Really not a lot of customization. A very uncustomizable ship. I hope in the future, if they ever do give us a Tier 6 ship, they would give us some parts to exchange on it, because I'm sure that they would change the visuals of the Tier 6 version. So if they did, I would like to be able to change components with the Tier 5 version in and out and kind of, you know, change things around. Here's the hangar bays. You can kind of see them in there. That's cool. Let's exit this and let's go to space and take a look at the specifications, shall we? Show you where I'm sitting and everything. We'll do the standard things. We'll do an ISA. We'll do whatever else we need to do. Some patrols, whatever. Okay, so first of all, you'll notice it's a gigantic ship. I mean, here I am next to a pilot ship. Here's... oh, look at that. There's a starter ship right there. Somebody's just starting the game. So, yeah, it's a huge ship. Oh, here's another big ship we can compare it to. This is an obelisk over here. I'm just going to use this person. Excuse me, I'm going to use you if you don't mind. I want to compare sizes. That sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? But seriously, I do. I want to compare sizes to the obelisk because I've never done that before. And I have wondered how big it is compared to the obelisk. You know what? It almost looks bigger than an obelisk. Probably just perspective or whatever. Well, maybe about the same size, actually. That is crazy. Okay, so the obelisk and the Caitian Atrox are like the same size, which are both gigantic ships. But yeah, they look to be very similarly sized. So if you're wondering about size on this thing, just think about an obelisk. That's going to be a good reference for the size of this ship. So obviously it turns really slow. Even with my turn rate buff, it's still turning really slow. Let's get out here to space, get away from everybody, and I will show you its abilities. First thing I want to show you is its turn rate. So what we'll do is we'll come to a complete stop, let my numbers get back up here. Okay, I'm going to go to impulse, and I'm going to turn and keep the camera still. So that's the turn rate. That is what you can expect out of it. Yeah, definitely a slow, and that is with a turn rate buff that I have with the tachyonetic converter. That's with that. So imagine without it, it'll be even slower. So that's why you really, really, really rely on your fighters. Your fighters are everything for your ship, because look at that turn rate. And you definitely want to go with beams on this thing, and you definitely probably want to go with single beams, because you're going to do a lot of side firing or firing from the side rather than the front or the back. So we'll just take a look at it real quick here, kind of zoom in. It has a great look about it. The skin and the color, it's kind of hard to tell here in the lighting here at ESD, but when we get out into sector space or you're in a mission and you're using this ship, it just looks really good. I mean, it's got a really good texture to it. It's got a really good color to it. The design, that's debatable. A lot of people, when it first came out, and probably still, call it the vacuum cleaner ship. You know, it looks like a Hoover. It looks like a vacuum cleaner, right? Well, yeah, I can see that. But honestly, I don't think about that much when I'm flying it. I think it's a really cool design. I think it's a smart spaceship design. If you were going to design a spaceship in space, you know, it's kind of the design you might go for. It's got these rear wing type things. Probably the bridge is up here somewhere, I'm thinking. Has a lot of space for people to live. It's got hangar bays to protect them. It's a good design. It's not terrible. It's got a big deflector up front. It's kind of a long nose if you're looking at it that way, but I mean, not a big deal. Anyway, I think the design looks very good on this ship. So here is the quick deployment. That is one of the Tier 5-U mastery abilities unlocked. This is crystalline refraction. This is from the Nukara sets. All the Nukara stuff on. I have this crystalline refraction. That's going to be the refracting abilities that I have. I have a Fleet Research Lab combat performance boost I'm getting because we have a Tier 3 Fleet Research Lab now. Alright, let's go over all the specs. So the shield regeneration rate is actually 619.9 shield regeneration every 6 seconds. So that's what that turns out to be. Okay, here's all the stats on it. 3,000 crew, 50% recovery rate, a 3,000 crew, stealth detection rating 183.96, power transfer 217.5. My defense, when we go to impulse, is... Where are you, defense? You are at 52.2% defense. My hull strength is a very high 90,000. That is good on a ship like this because, remember, it moves slow, it turns slow. You want a high hull strength. So even though it's a carrier, this is a carrier that can tank. Now remember, that's because I've got the Fleet version and the Tier 5-U upgrade version. All of that is giving me a much higher hull strength than I would have with just the Z-Store version. My hull repair rate, 135.1%. Shield regen, 270 shield a second. 21.9 thousand shield strength. So almost 22,000 shield strength. You would think that might actually be a little bit higher with all the shield things I have going on, but it is around 22,000. And the shield strength on this is actually, now that I'm in space, it's 11,365 with this shield. Yeah, this is a great shield. I'm telling you guys. Nukara Crystalline Resilient. Upgrade this sucker to Mark 14. Get the rarity up on it if you can. Get it to like ultra rare or epic. The Nukara shield is good. It also reduces Tetrion damage, radiation damage, and all energy damage by 10%. And 1% chance to reflect back 150% of incoming energy damage to attackers with a 50% shield penetration. It's a nice shield, guys. People overlook this shield because the Nukara set was like the second set from Omega that they put in this game. But people overlook this shield, and it's a really good shield for a science character, for a Tetrion build. I mean, it's a good shield. It's overlooked. My resist are almost 50%, very high. I have a almost 30% bonus accuracy for firing. My crit chance is very high, which is where I wanted it, and my crit severity is 82. My turn rate when I move is currently at 9.6 degrees, so very, very terrible, but it's a carrier, so that is what it is, right? It's just going to be what it is. Alright, let's launch the special feature of this ship. The only special feature it has, native to this ship, are the Stalker Fighters. That's it. So we launch two of them, which launches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on each side. So we have 6 here, but we can double that after this cools down. All we have to do is wait for this to cool down, and there they go. They're very tiny. They're very hard to see. You probably won't see them much in combat because they're very tiny. They really are hard to see because you have to zoom out so much for this ship that your Stalker Fighters become literally invisible. Okay, now I can launch them again.
Ship is under attack.
Check that out. I now have 12 Stalker Fighters out. They're out there somewhere. They're all flying around. There they are. They're in front of me and they're spreading out. You can kind of see them flying around out there. So now I have 12 stalker fighters. That is what this ship is made for. That is this ship. That's its ability, right? Now on these stalker fighters, they have a hull strength of nearly 4,000. So as you can see, very, 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 very small hull strength. That's why these things are like paper thin. They will blow up easily. I mean, really easily. Trying to get one in the camera if I could. There we go. There's one right there. Here we go. That's it right there. That's the best shot I can give you guys of it. With the backlighting there so you can see it. That's it right there. That's what they look like. They're very tiny, very small hull strength. But remember all those abilities I went over that they have. So they actually have a lot of capability if they stay alive. Their hull strength is, of course, here in this green bar. You can see when they die or when you need to replenish them. You just hit them again, and look at that. It's already ranked up and haven't even done anything. And that's because of the other part of the mastery, which is the 50% rank up XP for all hangar pets. Now you can, of course, target them like that, and you can heal them if they're damaged.
Under attack.
So you can do stuff to them like that if you want to. Check that out. That's cool. They're all ranking up on me by themselves. I haven't even done anything, and they're all ranking up on me. You can also, of course, set them to do different things. You can launch them from here as well. You can tell them to attack, which causes your pets to attack the current enemy target. You can tell them to defend the current friendly target. You can tell them to intercept hostile torpedoes and fighters, or you can recall them back. So you have all those abilities. If you don't do anything, they're automatically on attack mode, which means they will attack the enemy you're attacking. So if you want the most DPS, I guess that's the way to go, is to have them on attack mode. Look at that. They've already ranked up to 1 star each, automatically, without even doing anything. So anyway, the more they rank up, the more they increase their hull strength, basically. So as you can see now that they've got 1 star, they're at 4192 hull strength. So the more stars they get, if they can max out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, their hull strength gets a lot better. But they have to survive. They have to remain alive in order to rank up. But as we're in battle, if I notice some have some high-ranking stars, I'll click back and we'll see what the maximum hull strength is, because I don't actually know what that is. But that's it. That's your unique ability with this ship. Everything else I have is just related to bridge officer powers or my specializations. I have now unlocked, and this is very useful, intelligence fleet in the intelligence officer abilities. Intelligence fleet 2, in fact, is what I have unlocked. This gives you a plus 15% shield penetration and armor penetration for 30 seconds. It improves stealth detection and resists confuse and placate, and gives you a better stealth and cloaking as well for 30 seconds. Intelligence fleet 2 is an awesome ability. So here I'll just enable it. Bam, that's what it looks like. It's a great ability to have. So yeah, definitely rank up, you know, in your intelligence specializations and get intelligence fleet on your ships. Okay, everything else I have is just basically, yeah, because of specializations or traits I have enabled. This ship does not have a special starship trait. No special starship traits at all. So the ones I actually have enabled here are from other starships. And I'm going to leave them enabled because this is just a fun build, and I kind of want to show you the maximum capability of the ship and what it can do. But naturally by itself, you will have no starship trait, no unique console or unique ability. All you will have is whatever gear sets you put on and the stalker fighters and whatever specializations you have. Now the other abilities I'm getting, like this one here, the Tetrion Lattice, is again from the Nukara Strike Force technology set. This one here is a reputation, Nukara reputation ability. This is from the Crenum set, temporal phase capacitor. This is the anti-chronoton infused Tetrion discharge I was telling you about from the Crenum temporal manipulation. I'll use it and show you what it's like. And that's it, really. They are ranking up on their own. You know what? 4392. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to sit here and let them all rank up to Mark 5, Star 5, or whatever you want to call it. And I want to see what their maximum hull strength is, because I'm curious myself. So I'm not going to let y'all, you know, sit through that grueling. I'll pause the video, but I'm gonna let it sit here all the way to 5 stars. And then we will see what the ultimate hull strength is on the Stalker fighters, just so you know what you're operating with. So I'll go ahead and pause the video now, and I'll come back when they have reached 5 stars. And then after that, then we'll continue with doing all the wonderful spacey stuff. Stand by. Wow, that took a very long time, but I am back. And my fighters have upgraded, some of them now, to 5 full stars. Check that out, 5 full stars there. So the hull strength is now 4991. Basically, I've gained an entire from 39 to 49. So 1,000 hull strength is all I've gained. So not as much as I would have thought, but I guess it makes them just a little bit more able to take damage, but not a whole lot, to be honest with you. I wish that it was like 1,000 per star. That's what I think it should be. For example, 1 star would take it from 3.9 to 4.9, another star from 4.9 to 5.9, and then 6.9, 7.9, 8.9, you know, like that. That would make them a whole lot better. But it's a very tiny increase. Anyway, I just wanted to do that for myself and you guys, so you can see what the hull strength is and how it increases with the stars increasing on your fighters, because that's what makes this ship unique. Okay, at this point, it's time to take this thing into battle, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some stuff now, maybe an ISA, maybe some patrols, who knows what else. Whatever I feel like doing, we'll see. But I'll pause the video and I'll start it back when I get queued for those. And pretty much the only thing that I can really show you, because of what's unique to the ship anyway, are the fighters. So I'll launch the fighters and I'll let them go and you can see them in action. I will use some of the abilities I have, but remember those are just based on the gear sets I've chosen to use, like the lattice, the Tetrion lattice, or the Tetrion discharge. All those things are just based on the gear sets I'm using. So that could be anything. Those powers could be whatever other gear sets you're using. Could be different powers. But what makes this ship unique is just the fact that it's big, it's slow, and it's got fighters. And that's pretty much it. But I'll show you how it does anyway with this whole new car set when we come back. So stay tuned. Hello everybody, welcome back. So instead of doing an ISA, I decided to do something a bit different. Let's do a Gate of Grethor, Gateway to Grethor Advanced, GGA STF. This is a longer STF, and it goes up against the Heralds. And the main point of this ship that I wanted to show to you, the point of this ship, is to show you that it still can be a decent enough ship to take on end-game content. And end-game content is now Heralds or Mirror Universe, that sort of thing. So I figured a nice long GGA would be really good to test the ship out on. So first thing I'm doing here, I'm just launching my fighters before this starts. Get them all out there and they'll follow me, and they will aid me and help. Hopefully they'll get there. They may take a while to get there, but once they get there, they will help. If they end up dying, I'll just spawn new ones. But it's that simple. Double tap, and all my fighters are out. I'm good to go. And I will use, of course, Intelligence Fleet 2 when necessary, and all my other goodies. Here we go. This should be a nice, good long STF. Should be a lot of fun. So because it's a science ship, I will obviously use my sciencey powers. Buffer that up, do one of them. Oh look, all my fighters are already dead.
Herald reinforcements are inbound.
Now here goes this one.
Target
Bam.
shield has
That's
failed.
what that does. Here goes the lattice.
The starbase is secure.
That was fast. That was really fast. Oh, everyone went to the left. I think that's why that was fast. I think everybody literally went to the left. Well, that's kind of funny right there. Well, not funny, but it's a tactic. Sometimes you split, sometimes everybody goes to one side. It just goes faster that way. Either way, it works.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
There goes intelligence fleet. Here goes that.
Herald reinforcements are inbound.
Who's attacking the mid? My fighters are probably attacking the mid.
The shipyard is secure.
No, it's not. Who's fighting the mid? Osiris. You do not know. Now we will do patrolies, not patrols. What are they called? Transports. And we'll just protect them and do all that shizniz. Pretty
The
simple.
troop transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet.
Ship is under attack. Target shield has failed.
I'll do this again because I don't think you got to get to see it too well last time, but here we go. There we go. That did it. Oh, got a radiation.
Those gateways are emitting intense levels
Come on,
of beta
turn.
radiation.
Oh, somebody else
Close
got
them.
it. Good. Good, good, good. Look at all my fighters. Oh, they're so lovely and they're doing so well. They're doing that lovely anti-proton sweep I just love. Look, there's the web mine. Yes, my web mines. Go, web mines, go.
Target shields have failed.
Radiation
The
be
troop
gone.
transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet.
Closing, closing, closing. There's one of my fighters doing his thing.
The troop transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet.
There's the lattice. Oh, web mine got him. Radiation be gone. It's closing. Baltimore Raider will be dead in a second. Oh, my web mine got him. And then my fighters. Look at my fighters go. Oh, that is so sweet. It's so sweet. I love it.
Target shields have failed.
And he's gone. We're doing a pretty good job here.
From the starbase are moving toward the planet.
Keeping the left side station clear. Excellent. .3 minutes left to go on that. Oop, close that radiation. Radiation be gone! Radiation is gone. I'm gonna not use intelligence fleet right now because I'm gonna save it for when the main spawn of end of the STF stuff. Oh, radiation. Come on. I need a button. Where's my button?
Below 50%.
The troop transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet.
Somebody else must have got it.
Target shields have failed.
Oh, I'm out of fighters. Oh, another radiation. I think the other person over there has that. Oh, there's the radiation. I think he's got that.
The transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet.
Oh, I got this radiation. It's mine, all mine.
Target shields have failed.
And I got that one.
The troop transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet.
So you can kind of see what I mean about the fighters dying real easy. They disappear pretty fast. But at least they have a fast respawn. Look at that. They're going like crazy.
The troop transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet.
Target shields have failed.
The troop transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet.
Yes, you two collide into oblivion. That's great. Hey, we're doing good over here. Look at all these transports going. Transports away! I'm not going to activate any more powers. Time's almost up. Radiation, go away. It doesn't matter. End of life. Alright, now, for the heralds coming right now, I'm going to do them a favor, and I'm going to drop them this nice little satellite. They'll love that. And we're going to swing around and be prepared to kick booty. Get all my fighters out. There we go.
Ship is under attack.
And do one of them, and bam! Draw them all in. There we go.
Ships are attacking the starbase.
Intelligence Fleet 2. Getting too close. Oops.
Target shields have failed.
Okay, everything's moved over here. There we go. Got him with the lattice. This thing's almost dead already. Ah, you can't do that. No sensor jam on me. Bada bing, bada boom. It's a wonderful thing. And that, my friends, is a successful GGA. That is how you
Our
do.
troops have
Gateway to Grethor. Wasn't that just sweet? So there you go. You kind of get an idea that this ship can handle in-game content if you build it well, of course. Now, granted, it's the Fleet version, and it's the Tier 5-U version, so it's like upgraded twice upgraded. It's like a twice cooked potato, and it can do it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, that's our STF goodness. I'm going to forget ISA. It just goes too fast. You can't really see anything anyway. I'll probably be doing more, you know, Herald things or Mirror Universe things in future Starship reviews, simply because it's more challenging, and that is the current in-game content and everything right now. So, you know, if like a CPA comes along or something like that, a Counterpoint Advanced or something like that, I would do that as well. For right now, let's jump to the Delta Quadrant. I will do a patrol. I still want to do those. We're just going to do one patrol. I don't think we need to do more than that because I think you get the idea. Let's go to Delta Quadrant here. Alsurin Sector, sure. And we'll go do Argala. Popular patrol to do. Not Vodwar, but it's either you that get Hirogen or Kazon. And that'll be our patrol. We can just take a closer look at the features here. There's really not many features to look at. I mean, the main feature of this ship is the fact that it's a carrier and you have, you know, fighters. What I'll do is I'll go through the different functions of the fighters to show you how the fighters work if you've never flown a carrier type ship before. This is not the only carrier type ship I'll do a review on, by the way. There are more planned. Yes, more carrier reviews planned, so just keep that in mind. I'm not going to tell you specifically what ships, but yeah, there's more coming. So it'd be good right now to go over all the functions of how fighters work and everything from a carrier. So first thing I'm going to do before I even go into battle here, I'm just going to launch all my fighters. You guys duke it out, just wait for me. The first option is attack, which is the default option. Oh, you're flying close to me. That's great. Now they're going to come to me, too. Escort causes pets to defend the current friendly target. So, alright, let's say I want to do this. Select him. I can do escort and escort. And they should now circle him. Yes, see, look at them go. They are now going to defend my Benthen guard cruiser. So they're not around. Look at this. See how they're swarming him right there? See that? Yeah, they're going to protect him now.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Target shields have failed.
See, they're not even attacking because he's not close to him right now. They're firing on me, not him. See, they're all following him. All of them are following him. Whoa, that anti-proton is bright. Okay, now we've seen that. Okay, you get an idea how that works. So if you want to protect a friendly, that's how you do that. But let's say we want to do intercept. Pets will remain around the carrier, focusing on nearby hostile torpedoes and fighters. So let's put them on that. Now they're going to come back to me, but they will protect me from torpedoes and fighters if these guys had fighters, which they don't. I don't think. If they did, they'd protect me from their fighters. Oh, these are Hirogen, but I need a capital ship, a carrier ship. Anyway, whatever. They will protect me from torpedoes.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Target shields have failed.
It looks like they will also attack, even though they're on intercept. So that's pretty cool. They're actually attacking all of the ships. That's really good. Look at that. They are attacking all of the ships. Intercept.
Target shields have failed.
Intercept is a very good ability. Okay, that worked out really well. Intercept is awesome. What does the last one do? The last one recalls them, right? So there's really no reason to do that. I like intercept. Got him with a new car mine. This is some kind of radiation damage that I am actually doing to them.
Target shield has failed.
No, that's the anti-proton sweep. I take it back. But there is a radiation I can do to them on something here. Targets. I guess not. Wow, look, just a ton of crap going on. Go fighters, go. Oh, I'm out of fighters.
Target shield
They
has
blowed
failed.
up. So there you go, guys. Yeah, powers. Fighters can be really powerful.
Target shield has failed.
That is pretty sweet. Very cool, huh? Let's put him back on attack. Now we'll enable that.
Warning, ship is under attack. Target shield has failed.
Oops, I didn't really mean to do that, but I did.
Target shield has failed.
I mean, need I go on, guys? Need I go on? Yeah. I haven't even used Photonic Fleet, which is my science,
Ship is under attack.
my science ability, my science captain ability. I haven't even needed it yet.
Target shield has failed.
Oops. Well, I called it anyway. I actually did not mean to do that, but I did, so here it is. All the ship's powers go. Activate. And there you go. So, yeah, the Caitian Fleet Atrox can be pretty powerful for current in-game. I mean, seriously, a lot of people have kind of moved on from this ship. They don't really use it because it doesn't have any of the fancy intelligence powers. It doesn't have any of the fancy command powers. But who gives a crap? You know what? It's just a simple, fun ship, and you don't have to worry about all those crazy powers because the bridge seating on it is pretty simple. So that kind of narrows your choices down, and in that you don't have an overly excessive ship. You just have this ship that just works. It's just a ship that works. It's just a workhorse of a ship. Like I said a second ago, it's like a twice-baked potato right now. Fleet version and then upgraded to Tier 5-U. So you won't get the same effectiveness out of the Z-Store version, probably a little less powerful. But you get the Fleet version and then you upgrade it to a Tier 5-U and you've got it going good. Remember, the Z-Store version only has 2 tactical slots. so you're really cut down on your DPS. But with the Tier 5-U version, I get that extra tactical slot, so I can bump my DPS up. And then, of course, you get an extra engineering slot with the fleet version. So, yeah. Those two are really worth it. Again, this is the kind of ship that does not have a unique console. It came out before that era. However, it's got 2 hangar bays. You put these fighters on it, and you have a ton of fighters. It's like the Obelisk in that sense. The Obelisk has a ton of fighters around it as well, and this is similar to that. You combine it with some good abilities, and it will be a useful ship. I've got the new Kara stuff on it. I've got like 2 gear sets. I've got the Crinum temporal thing, all Tetrion based. Everything is shaking hands with each other. Everything melds with each other the way I've got it currently built. I don't have the highest rarity of everything I want. I want Mark 14 ultra rare or epic everything if I could. So I don't have that. But if I had that, it would be even more powerful. So just imagine if you had the resources to upgrade like everything to Mark 14 epic. You know, it would just be that much more powerful, right? So there's potential there for improvement. Basically, this has just been kind of a fun review, something that I wanted to do that is a ship that has been almost long forgotten now, but I wanted to bring it back and show you guys that on a science character of all things, one of the characters that is does the least amount of DPS in the game, can rocket at in-game with a Caitian Atrox, no less. So yeah, there you go. Pretty cool. It works. It works. Are there better science ships? Of course. But if you want a science carrier, this is still one of your better options for a science carrier. There are some others. There's a couple other options, but this is up there. This should be considered if you are looking for a science carrier anyway. You know, something to consider anyway. Anyway, there you go. That is it. That's pretty much all I got right now. There's no reason for me to go do other STFs or anything. You get the idea. You've seen it in action. You know what I'm talking about. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. It's pretty cool. I got a lot more coming up. I know that there hasn't been a ton of Starship reviews lately. I got more. Like I said, there are more carrier reviews planned. So stay tuned for that. Alright. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.